All right, we are live. What's going on, Blaise? How are you?
Ryan, it is a pleasure to be on here live. Seeing all of the success that you've been having with your clients and 5D Health and Fitness.
Oh,
Really,
you're a
really
clown,
excited to. I know I'm a client, but I'm really excited for tonight's call and just to kind of chop it up with you, my friend.
Yeah, man, we're gonna have some fun. I so I gotta ask. We actually saved this. Um, if you're watching this live, by the way, can you go ahead and just comment live below, just so I can see who's watching live and it's not just a number here. But it's funny when for those of you that don't know, like me and Blaze have known each other for a long time, so we chop it up all the time.
Yep.
And so our coaching calls are supposed to be like 30 minutes, but they always go for like 45 or sometimes 60, sometimes 90 minutes. And I was like, all right, we got to like save the catch up for when people, um, are also watching. So with that being said, dude, how are you feeling? Because I know that you got COVID and you got flu, and then Autumn wasn't feeling too great. So how you feeling?
I'm doing much better, thanks, Brian. And that kind of brings me to kind of my first touch point is that life is definitely a marathon, right?
Mhm.
And it's all about how you pivot. It's all about response strategy. Thank you for asking. I'm feeling much better. But it definitely threw a wrench in the program because the start of the program, I was seeing some minimal improvement. More so, my body was getting used to like eating differently and getting in the habit of working out. And then I remember it was like our second call, and you were like, Blaise, you got to kick it into gear. And I was like, done. And we made it happen. And I was seeing results like really quick. And then, COVID and flu and all that. But here we are by the grace of God. I'm healthy, Autumn's healthy, and we're still making some great health improvements. But the biggest thing that I've noticed too, Brian, is that mindset shift. We've been friends for like going on 10 years now,
I know.
and we've always talked about, it's the mindset. You are what you think about most, and that to me is like the biggest takeaway with what we've been doing in the program, and just really excited to be on with you tonight. And you've touched so many lives with what you're doing and what you're passionate about, that really fires me up. So it's awesome.
Cool. Well, we're gonna have a great interview, and it's something. I mean, it's after 7:30, right? So now we're competing with late night television, late night Netflix, but I'm sure people are still going to get some really good value. So for those of you that don't know Blaze, he is CEO and founder of Fader Plugs. He's also the CEO of. It's an audiology practice. What's the name of it again?
Audiology services.
Audiology services, right? So do me a favor, just give everyone like a quick bio about yourself. Tell everyone really, like, tell us about what life was like before we started working together. Not just the details, but even more of like the feelings that you were experiencing, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Mhm.
So, Brian, I don't think it's any secret that running a business during COVID, following, the past 2 years running a business, it's been a very long 2 years. And
Mhm.
so when you are in a leadership role, you are not only responsible for the business in and of itself, but you're also responsible for your people. And with the external stresses that have been going on in the world, you have to manage that, making sure the patients are healthy, making sure your team is healthy, making sure that your team is positive, ensuring that you create the safe space, not only for your patients, but also for your team. That can be very stressful. And
Mhm.
and we all respond to stress differently. Maybe some of us um, stress eat. I can definitely say that I was experiencing that. Our cortisol levels will start to spike. Our body holds on to fat then. And um, for me, I was always an athlete, and definitely the past 2 years have been stressful. I'd be lying if I told you that they weren't. But
Mhm.
what I was noticing is that I have a treadmill at home. So Was I consistently going on the treadmill? I'd be lying to you if I said I was, but I wasn't. So what I found was that I was going to work, I was going to the office, get there at, between 8 and 8:30 a.m., staying till 5, 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
Autumn and I'd have
Long
dinner.
hours.
And yeah, and we'd eat healthy. We do eat healthy dinner, but it was the quantity in which I was eating. And Brian, I never tracked my food. I was never tracking my macronutrients. I just said, "Oh, this is healthy. I'll have 2 servings of this, whether it be rice, and there's like 1,000 calories. And mind you, lunch, maybe I had a sandwich." So it came to the point, Brian, where I didn't have as much energy as I wanted. I wasn't getting the sleep that I felt as though I needed. Um, I was in fight mode. And when you are in fight
Mm.
mode, like, you sort of say, well, I'm just going to eat whatever, and
Right.
my business needs me. And really what it came down to, Brian, was I just looked at myself in the mirror. I said, man, what happened to you? I undergraduate studies and even during grad school, I was still pretty consistent with my health and fitness, and I was able to lift a decent amount of weight, and I was just confident in the body that I had created. But it came to the point where I'm just like, man, like I don't feel good. I'm 30, and like I'm catching a breath while I'm walking 2 miles. Like this isn't the Blaise I know. This is not the Blaise
Yeah.
I know. So
Catches up to you quick.
yeah, and it came to the point where, and just the way that, and you think the same way, Brian, being an entrepreneur, I'm like, I invest in all these different, oh, let's invest in this marketing opportunity or X, Y, and Z. I need to invest in myself, because if I am not showing up for my team, and I am not showing up for my patients, and I'm not showing up, most importantly, for my wife and my marriage, I am doing everyone a disservice.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like that was the instant where I need to take the step towards health and fitness, because this is not only healthy for myself, but this is healthy not for my family, everyone around me, and future generations.
Mm-hmm.
So long-winded answer, Brian, but that really was the aha moment of how I was feeling and why I really wanted to ensure that I was taking the correct steps towards better health and fitness.
Yeah. Got it. So, feeling a little bit winded right after a couple of miles, like looking in the mirror and kind of missing the old athletic body. You're
Yeah,
watching this, right? And you've kind of maybe you've seen yourself in the mirror and you're like, where did it go? I can resonate with that so much. Like the
yeah,
amount of times just even a couple of years ago where like I would look at myself and then you do like the casual turn to the side and you're like, it's not that bad.
yeah,
I swear it's not that bad. So if you've ever done that, if you feel like your athletic body went away or something like that, if you can resonate with what Blaise is talking about, where sometimes work just has to take the front seat and you're in fight mode, just go ahead and comment the number 2 below, right? Just to let me and Blaise know that you understand where he's coming from. But so that's where you were, and then how did we connect?
So of course, we, send text messages here and there, et cetera, stay in touch with each other. But
Right? Yeah, we had a bit of a background. Yeah,
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 but I was seeing your posts, social media posts and things of that nature. And I thought to myself, I'm like, Brian's a busy guy. He's an entrepreneur. He gets it. Um, but I also I like, trust, and respect you. So if I like, trust, and respect you, I'm going to really value your opinion and your knowledge of a field with which you are a professional in.
Mhm.
So I was just like, hey, like, how are you doing this? What
Yeah,
do I have what do I have to do? Because I'm coming up with every excuse in the book here, Brian. Well, I'm an entrepreneur. I work long hours. I don't have time for the gym. This is just how I am. I'm hitting
yeah.
30, which is young. I mean, I feel great now, but
We're babies. Yeah,
it's like we have in our mind like, oh, 30s, man. We're young cats here, man.
yeah.
So I reached out to you, and what I really it's like you do a really great job of separating, like, yes, you are my friend, but like now I'm encompassing the position of I'm a field expert here. And what you did was you asked me the right questions, because it's so much deeper. I think that a lot of people understand that, okay, I know I need to get in better shape. I know I need to make a difference in my life, but how? And you do a really great job of digging deep and pulling out really where the issue is. And it's like, yes, did you ask a lot of questions? Of course. Were they annoying? Not at all, because I wanted to make a difference in my life. And if you want to make a difference, you're going to answer any which question that an expert is asking you. So I really appreciated that, going through the discovery phase. And
Let me ask you, so speaking of questions, right? Like, and speaking of us getting connected, I'm curious, what was it that made you say, because look, unlike many people watching this, me and you have known each other for 10 years, right? But
mhm.
you said you saw some of my social media posts, you saw that I got great results. But what was it that like caused you to be like, I got to reach out to this guy? Like, I got to get on the phone with this guy. What was that moment?
uh, it was during the holidays, and I knew some LBs were gonna be present in my life.
Yeah.
So really, that moment was an Instagram post of you just like at the gym. I think it was like a barbell press or something like that, and I was like, yeah, I got to look like that again, like literally. And I was like,
Mm.
it needs to happen. And I think it's the power of social media can be really good, and in this point, it's phenomenal. In this case, it's phenomenal. But that really, Brian, was the time in which I was like, this needs to happen, because someone that I knew had something that I wanted. And if I need to do what you do, say what you say, and I'm going to get what you get every single time when it comes to fitness. So I'm going to listen to you. And that was like, all right, holidays are coming up. I got to get through this. I don't want to put on another 10 pounds. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm winning in all these other areas, but what fun is it if I'm not confident in the body in which I have to live in the rest of my
Mm.
life?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was beautifully said, right? Like, what is it all worth if I'm not even healthy enough to actually enjoy it?
What, like, all that
Yeah.
other stuff is cool, but like, if I'm not healthy, what does it matter?
Yeah. Yeah. I got another question here for you. I think you're really gonna like. But just to chime in on that, I don't know if you saw this, the quote Aubrey Marcus put up. Like he tweeted something, and I was like, it was just it's like poetic. I love when people can articulate my thoughts better than I can. And he
Same.
goes, "Health is the where it's like everything else is important until you're unhealthy. Then health is the only thing that's important,
Yes.
right?"
Yeah. Yep. 100%.
So obviously, so the holidays came up. It was kind of one of those times, and right now is one of those times, right? People are thinking about the bachelor parties, they're thinking about their summer vacations, they're thinking about how they're going to look in the pictures, how they're going to look in their summer photos. So, you were considering the program. Were you scared about anything? Were you scared, like, was it going to work? Were you scared about the financial obligation? Were you scared about anything? Like, what came up for you? Were you nervous about anything before getting started with me?
I wasn't so much nervous. So first things first is you need you only have one of these. And
Hmm.
a lot of individuals will like allocate their monies towards thing like going out, for instance, and it's all about a transfer of dollars in my mind. But the greatest investment that you can make is in yourself. So I'm part of that. I encompass that school of thought. So I said, whatever I have to do,
Hmm.
I'm going to do it. I was more so for me, Brian, because if you remember our first call uh, after my first week, and I was telling you, I was like, Brian, I kind of feel like guilty, like going to the gym. Like, why? Isn't
Mm.
that insane? It was like, but it was because I needed a paradigm shift. There's such a difference between the brain and the mind. And Dr. Caroline Leaf talks a lot about this. I shared the podcast episode that we had her on the podcast. And I went into this with the mindset of I'm going to make a change. but I've grown to become so self-aware that I knew my brain is going to play tricks on me, and it did. It did for a good amount of time, Brian. If you recall, it was like a good
Yeah,
two
I
and a half.
remember.
Like we have to build that habit loop. So I was more so. I wasn't scared or fearful of anything, but I was cognizant and mindful enough that I knew my mind was going to play tricks on me because we are pleasure seeking individuals. We are pain avoiding. And going to the
Yeah.
gym is not a pleasurable thing. Going through your workout plan is
And there's
not.
one of us on this call.
Well,
I
now it
enjoy
is.
it.
Now it. But here's the thing. Now to me, it's like ask Autumn. It's like she tells me now. She's like, you're a completely different person because even being under the weather, I'm like, man, I really want to hit the gym. I really want to get there. Obviously, I
Mhm.
don't. But that mindset has shifted. Like I said, my biggest uh, fear, quote unquote, false evidence appearing real, was that my brain's going to play tricks on me. And I guess too, maybe a little bit of, well, what if I don't see a result
Right.
because my body composition is this way? And that was definitely in the back of my mind. But again, I know that you're an expert in this field. And oftentimes you just need to like have faith, let go, have trust in your coach, in your provider. It's like when patients come to speak to us about hearing aids, and a patient needs to trust me and understand that I have your best interests at heart, and I'm going to make sure I do everything to help you
Right.
hear better. I knew you were never, and you're never going to steer me in the wrong way throughout this fitness journey.
That's right. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate you sharing all that.
Sure.
So tell us where you're at today, right? So we're not even done with the program. We're about
No, we're
50%
not
of the
done.
way
And
through.
I have to say,
So where,
Brian,
where are you at today, and share a little bit the results that you've gotten just halfway now.
so just halfway, and again having some health issues in there. I am almost down like 10 pounds, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I have so much more energy. Number one, um, it's fun now to actually cross off my like to do on the two apps that you use, the MyFitnessPal and Trainerize, because the two coincide or parallel each other. And I have more muscle definition. Again, the sleep I'm getting is incredible. A lot of people don't realize the importance of sleep.
Yeah.
And I feel as though that I'm finally getting like I'm hitting REM a lot more now. I'm drinking a gallon of water a day, but overall results have been pretty incredible. And I'm really excited to see where we are 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks from today.
Oh yeah.
Um, it's going to be such an awesome just view of, because you take the before and after photos.
Right.
Before, I mean, I'm like, who are you? And like, man, like Brian, we have a bakery here in
Yeah.
Nazareth that's to die for. And yeah, I like donuts. I know you like donuts too, my friend. I
Yeah.
saw you on your birthday. You had like 12, and you said, I'm doing it.
I
I put in
did.
the work. But where I am today is a healthier, not only healthier in physically, but mind and spiritual. 100%, Brian. 100%.
Awesome. So what is it? So if you can name one thing, keeping it short, right? Because I do want to wrap up here because we're coming up on almost 20 minutes.
Sure.
What specifically about the program do you love?
Accountability,
Hmm.
coaching, community.
Nice.
There's
Oh,
a community
community.
of us. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's funny you brought. I did want to bring this up, right? Because you obviously, it's also interesting that you knew him from college because it's such a small world. But with Dom, he
Yeah,
mentioned one of the first things that he noticed was while working with me was that he was sleeping so much better, and he was like, "Dude, I'm dreaming for the first time in years," which is like
yeah,
so crazy. Dom,
yeah.
if you're watching, I didn't mean to throw you on the bus there, but everybody
Um,
wants to dream a little more. And then last question as we wrap up here, Blaise, again, I really appreciate your time. But last question, if anyone was even remotely considering getting support, what advice would you give them?
feel the fear and do it anyway, because and a lot of it is that ego. Ego is well, and fear as well. I don't want to actually say that, I'm trying to find the right word here. Um, Reach out to Brian or a trusted individual in the health and fitness space. Yes, it can be scary to ask for help sometimes. And I will tell you, Brian, being in a leadership role, something that is really important is to ask questions. It's okay. The minute you think you know everything, you know nothing, ask questions. I'm constantly asking mentors, Brian, I ask you questions about fitness because that is your space. For someone who wants help, reach out. There is a community, there is a health and fitness community. We talk ideas. It's not only a physical shift, but it's a mindset shift. And I'm just really excited for anyone out there watching to start their journey because you owe it to yourself. One life to live, one life to give. Do it in a body that you're proud of, but you're also feeling good in. And that's what I'm excited about.
Wow. Beautifully said. Blaise, thank you again so
All
much.
right.
We're just gonna end on that. That's a wrap. Mic drop, everything. Love it. Thank you so much, Blaise. Thank you for taking the time out. And for anyone watching, thank you for taking the time out as well. This is so much fun. Can't wait to do this again soon,
Thank
man.
you, Brian. Have a great evening, my friend. Take care.